Blackwater is becoming a dangerous place to be an investigator as the hunt for the fictional killer of Catherine Pryor continues. 5 suspects remain. One of them is the murderer. Out of the 10 amateur investigators who started, only 5 are left. In last week's Killer's Game, Merrill was eliminated, and Andrew survived for an unbelievable 4th time. But danger comes not just from the killer, it lurks within as well.
I think after last night's votes, people have got to play the game differently.
And it's going to be dog eats dog.
I want to be sure that I'm in the final 3.
I don't have to worry about Rory or Andy as competition in this.
You get feelings of fear.
They haven't got enough sort of logical thought and analytical thought to be able to crack the case. And likewise Mel.
I really didn't think I was going to be the last girl left in the house, but I don't know, it makes me think now, gosh, are the guys going to gang up on me now that there's only one girl left?
It's the next stage of the investigation, which is progressing fast. Felicity Wilmington claimed that the dead baby found in a secret room at Creasy Place was her stillborn baby.
Between my legs there was this tiny baby.
The investigators believed her until they heard a tape recording that revealed she might have lied.
Especially her.
And the investigators discovered that the victim, Catherine Pryor, felt threatened by the father of her child, Anya. It's time for the morning briefing with Chief Bob Taylor. He's hunted over 100 real killers. Now he's guiding the investigators as they try and catch a fictional killer and win a £25,000 reward.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Chief.
So we begin our next stage of this inquiry into the murder of Catherine Pryor. We've lost another investigator to the killer. So first, let's find out who Merrill chose as lead investigator in her last will and testament.
I vote for Nick to be the next lead investigator. He did it before and did it very well, and I think he'll do a good job again.
The main advantages of being lead investigator are that you have you can relax a little bit because you know that absolutely for definite you're not playing the killer's game this week.
Right, lead investigator, this is serious.
The local paper has run a story revealing the investigators have the Wilmington necklace worn by the victim Catherine at the time of her death. The necklace was left as a clue for Andrew to find during a previous Killer Game. Outside of the briefing room, the only person that could know this is the killer.
How did this happen? Who's been talking to the media? Have we got a leak in here? Nick, lead investigator, I want you to call the newspaper, find out where they got that story from.
Okay.
Will not tolerate leaks in my investigations. Do you understand?
Yes.
Let's move on to the killer clue. Andrew survived the killer's game again and returned with a killer clue.
I was thinking of asking for a compassionate leave, actually, Chief.
You don't get compassionate leave on a murder inquiry, Andrew. You're lucky if you get sleep.
I don't get that, Chief, at the moment.
Well, that's all right. Andrew brought back this strip of 4 passport photographs of Anya, Catherine Pryor's 11-year-old daughter. Anybody got any thoughts on this?
She might have been gone away with.
So Catherine could have been taking Anya away. And who might be upset about that?
Well, it's supposedly fathered.
We know that Catherine feared Anya's father. We know that Trevor was Anya's genetic father. But Trevor says that Catherine believed that Jay was Anya's father. The first line of inquiry is to interview Jay Wilmington. Ask him why people think he's Anya's father, and ask him if he was threatening Catherine. Lead investigator Nick, it's your job to pick the investigators for the lines of inquiry. I want 2 people to see Jay Wilmington. Would you choose them, please?
For Team 1, I'd like it to be Mel and Rory.
The remaining two, Andrew and Richard, you are Team 2. What should you be doing?
Talking to George Howick.
Talking to George Howick. Has George got an alibi?
He could have an alibi in that he could have been on the island when the causeway was closed. However, there was a very short time period that George could have left the island or on a boat.
That's right, Richard. He said he couldn't get off the island on the day of Catherine's murder because he was cut off by the tide. He could have used the boat to get off the island. He could have murdered Catherine. Team 2, Andrew and Richard, you will go see George Howick. You're all clear?
Yes, Chief.
After the briefing, Rory, Andrew and Mel decide to have a bit of a laugh at ex-Army pilot Richard's expense.
Oh, quick, get Richard out here and give us all his... Oh, yes, that's what we... 34-year-old man driving.
Yeah, well, he was born in 38, yes.
One's pregnant, there's one on a rib, hot, cold. I've drawn the short straw today with dear old Richard. He's just told me why other teams have been failing and he hasn't, and the lines of inquiry to adopt. In other words, tag along behind, shut up, don't say nothing, I'll do it and we'll pass. And in the back there is a packet of sandwiches and a Coca-Cola tin. They go 4,000 miles east of Egypt, they'll drink that and they come back.
It's quite tight, is it?
It'll be better utilisation of that board, won't it?
He's very focused, very into the game, very impatient almost. He wants to find the killer. And I know that even myself, I find that a bit too much. I want him to... If I could have my way, I would want Richard to calm down and step back and take on a few of Andrew's attributes.
Richard's just going to get the piss ripped out of him when he gets out of this house.
Team 1, which is Mel and Rory, are heading down to the quayside to confront Jay Wilmington about being the father of Catherine's child, Anya.
Hello.
We just wondered if we could ask you some questions. If
you've got come down
time.
onto the boat?
Yeah, that was fantastic. Thank you.
The hidden test for Team 1 is to not reveal the source of their information.
It's just a few questions about Anya Pryor. I was just wondering, did you know who the father was?
No, no one's ever known, actually.
No one's ever known?
No, Catherine's always kept it a secret.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is there any possibility that you could ever be the father?
No,
it's a bit personal.
No, definitely not.
You can think back sort of 11 years ago.
Yeah. No, no, we were just friends. Why? Who's been saying that?
Oh, it's just come into our inquiry, really. And we're not really at liability to say.
But someone's been saying that, basically, that I'm Anya's father.
No, it was just more of a, just a rumour that you could possibly be the father.
Well, we're just following up on queries.
Well, there's no way, possibly at all, that that's true.
Also, we have reason to believe that you could have possibly been threatening Catherine. I know that it's quite abrupt the way I've put it.
Who's been saying this as well?
Again, I'm just not